And, you know, I can understand where he was coming from. Anyway, so this story is that finally, it was when finally Sarah allows her handmaiden to go into Abraham's bed, Hagar, and she gives birth to Ishmael. That's the first of Abraham's sons, and then he becomes the father of a great nation, 12 tribes and so on, and his whole genealogy is given in the Old Testament. And it's clear that he, because I told you, comes from around Midian or Sinai, his descendants. And then finally, when Sarah's 99, according to the Bible, and I don't think anyone ever bore children at 99, but anyway, God, the angels come and tell her she's going to have a child, and she laughs, and so therefore the child is called laughter. It's up. He laughed. So the angel says to her, "You laughed." She says, "No, why did you laugh? It's not funny. God can do anything." In any case, Isaac is born with the name Laughter. The storyteller trying to explain his name, he laughed. So one is Abraham laughs, the other is Sarah laughs. They're different versions of the story. What is not in question is in the storytelling, Isaac is pictured as playing with Ishmael. Ishmael is much older. And Sarah is jealous. She doesn't like the fact that the two are playing together. And like many wives that have felt neglected or cast aside or whatever, she goes and complains to Abraham and says, "Look, Abraham, I don't want that son of the slave or the handmaiden playing with my son Isaac. You get rid of them both." And of course, you know, a Muslim or someone who loves Isaac, who loves Ishmael and so on, wouldn't like these stories. They're not told because they're anti-Islamic. They're just told because they're early stories about the weaknesses and foibles of the patriarch. So what happens? Abraham doesn't want to do anything. He's very weak, but he finally gives in to the pestering of his official wife, and he goes and tells Hagar she has to go and take Ishmael with her. And so she cries and weeps, and she goes out into the wilderness someplace, and what happens to her? An angel appears to her at a well, and says, he will be the father of great nations too, and so on and so forth. Do not fear. And so the storyteller is not sympathetic to Sarah. Actually, the storyteller is sympathetic to Ishmael and his plight and Hagar. See, the storyteller is not presenting the patriarchs as great heroes. They're just chosen in the chosen line, but they have all the weaknesses of normal human beings. And they're not favored, because the presentation of Abraham there is like a weak-willed dodo. And Sarah is a nasty piece of work, you know, and so on and so forth. So they're not trying to show these people as perfect people. Well, as I said, my Islamic student didn't like these stories, and I can well understand why he felt that way. But the Bible is like that. That's what Genesis, that's what people have loved about the Bible. It's very human, very earthy, full of the real stuff of everyday life. And people can identify with it, good or bad. So in any case, there is a well there. Now, the well, and that's why I'm talking about all this. This well is given a name. I think it's called Lahai-Wa in the book of Genesis. So someone could have actually said, actually that well is not near Beersheba, which is in southern Palestine, where it's presented as being. That well is down in the Arabian desert, I guess it's almost 1,000 miles further south, down where Mecca is, and that's the well of Zamzam, and that's where God chose Ishmael and told him that he would be the father of a great nation. Someone could have transported the whole story 1,000 miles southwards, and I personally think that's what happened. That's what I think happened when these people said, this is Ishmael's, Abraham and Ishmael founded this shrine. There's no evidence Abraham and Ishmael ever were down there. But in the storyteller's mind, all things are possible. And since these stories are quite fantastic anyway, why not add a few other new versions to them? Oral history works like that. And those are the stories that go into the Quran to some extent, I honestly believe. In any event, here's a reflection of it. By this time, the rabbis are saying, that's Abraham's shrine. The shrine in Mecca, even though it's now a pagan shrine. That's Abraham. Now, I don't know if this is a true story or it isn't a true story, but we're in here 400 AD, and that's already the picture that we are getting here. Whether the Muslims are putting it back into their mouth or whether that's what they really thought, I don't know, but I have a feeling that's what they were saying to people. We are debarred going into it because of the idols that are inside it, and the blood offerings made beside it, because these people are horrible, idolaters, polytheists, or words to that extent. So that's why the rabbis say he can go in, but they can't go in. Because the shrine is Abraham's shrine, but they can't enter it because it's become a polytheist, idolatrous shrine. Ultimately, Muhammad purifies the Kaaba, doesn't he? As part of his mission. So this builds right on top of this. Anyway, the king was not happy about what he'd heard from the Hudhalites, and he had their hands and feet cut off. I'm not laughing. It's a pretty nasty punishment. I don't know if it was widespread in those days, but there you are. And then he continued on his way to Mecca. He made the circumambulation of the shrine, sacrificed some camels and so on, and just as the modern pilgrims might do, and shaved his head as the pilgrims did. So the pilgrims were already doing this before Islam, and he does it too. And he stayed there 6 days, like probably the later Hajjs were more or less presented as doing. And he feasted the inhabitants with camels and, made everybody pretty happy. Some break here in the text and then some more stories. Then there's a story about him moving on to Yemen further, southern Arabia. And there he makes his subjects adopt his religion himself. So he makes the people of Yemen convert to Judaism.